Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Big Red 1, turn 12.4, Japan. It is January 1942. Japan has 2 tech rolls. Boston Bruce dared me not to use PPE for my tech rolls. You might hear my son clicking in the background. He's my witness that I'm not re-rolling my tech rolls. It just bothers me to just start off the recording with tech rolls, but I'll do this just this once, Bruce, then I'm going back to PPE. I have a feeling that Bruce is asking me to do this because it's going to use up the low rolls he thinks I'm going to get from PPE for these tech rolls, and then later on when I do the anti-aircraft artillery in Calcutta, which I told him I was going to be bombing Calcutta, so that's when he told me he wanted me to do this PPE. So anyway, I think this is why, Bruce, you want me to do this. So I've got radar at a 7 or higher, 12, and I've got no, I don't have large ship construction. God dang it. Sorry, radar, and what's the other one? Long-range aircraft, that's what it is. Long-range aircraft at an 8 or higher. 1, okay. So let me move radar up to stage 1, and long range is at stage 1 already. All right, purchases. Japan has 67 IPP to spend. I will purchase 3 militia for 6, 3 infantry for 9, that's 15, 7 stages of heavy battleships, so I'll advance 6 stages from stage 3 to 2 and start 1 new stage. So 7 stages of heavy battleships at 42, so that brings me up to 57, and then I'll lend-lease the Germans a fighter for 10, that's 67. Combat movement. I am going to be obliterating Primorsky Cry. So from Korea, I will move in 2 infantry and a medium armor. From Sea Zone P14, the heavy cruiser and the 3 naval transports will move over to Sea Zone P15, and they'll pick up the 5 infantry that are in Kyushu, then move up to P7 and drop off the 5 infantry for an amphibious assault. From Sea Zone P7, 2 battleships and 3 heavy cruisers so far will be providing shore bombardment. From Nanking, this battleship will leave port to P14 and move up to P7. It'll provide shore bombardment. So we're up to 3 battleships, 3 heavy cruisers. From Sea Zone P32, that task force, which is 3 tactical bombers and a fighter, they will hit Primorsky Cry, and then they're going to land in Korea. So just those 4 aircraft are going into Primorsky Cry. The carriers are staying there in P32. In Sea Zone P43, the battle cruiser and heavy cruiser will move 1 to P32, 2 to P15, 3 to P7, and add in bombardment. Now we're up to 3 battleships, a battle cruiser, 4 heavy cruisers. Bombards, as my friend Boston Bruce says. And then the final bombardment up there will be from P50. Let's see. 1 heavy cruiser is going to move all the way up to P7. And I think that should be 9 bombardments. So it should be 5 heavy cruisers, 1 battle cruiser, 3 battleships. And we should predict 2 hits from that. The 3 battleships, you figure 1/3 chance each. You figure the most likely thing is one of them will get a hit. And then the battle cruisers, 3 pips, and the 5 heavy cruisers are 2 pips each, so that's 13 pips. And if you look at a D12, you'd figure that's probably another. So I should wipe out those 2 militia. And then if I'm looking at my aircraft, I've got the 3 tacticals, that's 21 pips, and the fighter is 6 pips, so that's 27. And then this medium armor is 32, so 3-ish hits plus, so far I think I'm up to, I've got 9 infantry, no, I'm sorry, I've got 7 infantry and 2 marines. And so that's 9. I'm going to be bringing another 2 more marines. So down here in C-Zone P43, the 2 destroyers will pick up the 2 marines from Guam, move 1 to P32, 2 to P15, 3 to P7, drop those guys off. So I'll have 11 at 1 in the mountains. Figure that's another hit. So I should average 6 hits, 2 bombards, and then 4 more hits. So 6 hits on the first round. He will lose the 2 militia, so they likely won't be able to fire back, and he'll get to fire with 6 infantry with a 1/3 chance each. So you figure 2 hits is the most likely thing. So he'll lose 6, and I'll lose 2. So that is going to be that attack. Now let's look at this attack into Hope. So I'll be moving 4 infantry, 1 from Suyan, 4 infantry, 1 mountain, 1 cavalry, 1 artillery. All of that is going to move into Hope, and then from Shangtung, 1 infantry will move up. The guys coming from Suyan will not face a river penalty, but the guy coming from Shangtung is going to be penalized crossing the river. So he'll be at a 1. I'll boost the mountain infantry. All right, so that'll be that attack. Then in C-Zone P43, on that light carrier, there's a fighter, and that fighter will fly to New Guinea. So 1 to P44, 2 to P53, 3 to New Guinea, and it'll land in Dutch New Guinea. I don't know if New Guinea's on camera here. Slightly off camera. Okay, so the fighter flies here. It'll land in Dutch New Guinea. From Dutch New Guinea, I'll have a marine, an artillery, and an infantry. Now note that's Jungle Mountain, so it'll be, these guys will be -1. One of them will get boosted. So that'll be the 3rd battle. Then the 4th battle will be in Borneo. This seaplane will go 1-2 and go out on map in C-Zone P50 to do convoy raiding. And then I think the final thing is I'll do the medium bomber flying to Calcutta to strategic bomb the minor factory there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll land in British Malaya. All right, I think those are all my attacks. So let's get to rolling some dice. Now I've got PBE all teed up for the battles. Let's see how they go. This is for the coastal artillery. Okay, so he did get a hit, and that I'm gonna be kind of strange because I don't want to, you'd think I'd want to take a battleship, but I don't. I'm gonna lose a naval transport that is carrying 1 infantry. I've got a surplus of naval transports, and I don't want to give him Big Blue, because if I damage one of my battleships, then he will have Big Blue, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so he does hit. What did he roll with the coastal artillery? He rolled a 2, a 4, and a 9 in Primorsky Krai. So he did kill a naval transport carrying 1 infantry. There, if you remember from P-14, there were three naval transports. They moved over to Kyushu, picked up 5 infantry. The one that was carrying 1 infantry is the one that I'm gonna select. Okay, so I've got 3 battleship bombardments at 4. 1 hit, perfectly average. And then we have the battle cruiser bombardment at 3. Another hit. And then these should miss if it's going to be average. 5 at 2. And they did. So far, we're perfectly average. 2 hits, and that'll be the 2 militia are removed from Primorsky Krai. All right. Now, I thought I was going to have 10 units at 1. Or I'm sorry, I thought I'd have 11 units at 1, but I'm only going to have 10 units at 1 because of the transport getting hit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 at 1. You figure the most likely thing is to get 1. I did not. Okay. 2 12s, though. Could have just as easily been 2 1s. All right, now I've got 1 tank, 1 medium armor at 5. Miss by 1. And then I've got 1 fighter at 6. Is that right? Yeah, 1 fighter at 6. Again, miss. And then 3 at 7. No matter what, I'm getting below average, even if all 3 hit, and they all 3 missed. So he's got 6 at 4. 2, 4, 6. And he got above average. So let's see. He got 3 hits. I believe I got 0 hits. So I lose 3 Marines. I am down to 6 infantry, 1 Marine. Second round. Okay, I've got 7, 2, 4, 6, 7 at 1. So I've now rolled 17 and missed. 17 at 1. And I've got 1 at 5 with the medium armor in the mountains. It misses again. And a fighter at 6. Miss. And 3 tacticals at 7. Very frustrating. Okay, I got 1 hit. Now it's his shot. He has 6 at 4. No matter what, this would be a hit. So 2 hits, that time he was average. So I'm down to 4 infantry and a Marine. And he is at 5 infantry. Okay, so I have 5 at 1. Miss. 22 at 1, missed. And 1 at 5. Hit. 1 at 6. Miss. 3 fighter misses so far. And 3 at 7. 2 hits. Okay, so I got 3 hits that round. He has 5 at 4. 2 hits. A little bit above average. I'm down to 2 infantry and a Marine. He is down to, I believe I only got 2 hits, right? No, did I get only 2 hits? Did I only hit once with my tacticals? I think that's right. I think he has 3. 3 infantry. Okay. Now I have 2 infantry and a Marine, so 3 at 1. Miss. And then 1 at 5. Hit. 1 at 6. hit, and 3 at 2 more hits. So that's 4, and I think he only has 3 units left. Hit. So he was above average consistently, and I was below average consistently. Should have absolutely crushed him, but he got super lucky. So, or he didn't get super lucky. I got super unlucky. 2 up for Japan. Two down for Russia. Okay, I take it with 1 infantry, 1 marine, 1 medium armor. Now let's do the attack into Hope. If I just bump up the, well, first I should do the first strike artillery at 3, right? Hit. If I bump up the penalized infantry, then it'll be a bunch at 2. So I've got, let's see, 3 at 2? How many? Oh no, I've got 5, 6 at 2. And then I'll have the cavalry at 3. One more hit, that's all I needed, and he's got the 1 at 4. Fire! That's the most likely outcome anyway, because I shouldn't have hit with my artillery. So that one was totally neutral luck. Need a rondelle for that one. Japan goes up 1. And that is CCP that drops down to 2. So I take that with 4 infantry, a mountain infantry, cavalry, and an artillery. Now let's do the battle in New Guinea. I have 1 that's at 1, infantry, and then 1, well, I guess I should do the artillery. 1 first strike artillery at 2, miss. I've got 1 at 1, miss, and 1 at 2. It's a boosted marine at 2, miss, and then my fighter at 6. Frustrating. All right, he's got 1 at 2. Ooh, almost a hit. Okay, let's try that fighter again. 1 fighter at 6. Okay, that's a hit, and he's got 1 at 2. Miss. So I take New Guinea with an infantry, a marine, an artillery, and then the fighter lands in Dutch New Guinea. And that is worth 1. So that's 1 up for Japan to 55, 1 down for Anzac to 6. All right, now let's do the seaplane. I got a seaplane convoy rating in Sea Zone P50. So that'll be red, and the defender is white. I'm at +1, but he's at +2 because he's got, does he have radar and ASW? Okay, so red is the attacker. Oh my gosh, poor Bruce, he's just had the worst. I don't want to be lucky here. I just want to be average luck. Because I should have just smoked Primorsky Cry so easily. Just absolutely dominated that territory. Should have made him lose 6, and he made me lose 2. Okay, so Anzac loses 2 there. So he's down to 5 IPP. And then the damage, I'd roll with the medium bomber on, see how much I do to Calcutta. I max it out at 5. And I'm just going to show that that rolls other than 6s. Okay, so let's put 5 points of damage on Calcutta. PBE, I did the PBE for whether or not the AA hit, and it missed with a 7. All right, that is the end of my combat. So now we have non-combat movement. Where did I put my move orders? Ah, hid them from myself. Here we go. All right, non-combat movement from northern Manchuria. 1 infantry will move down to eastern Manchuria. From Rihe, 1 infantry will move to eastern Manchuria. 1 infantry will move to Beiping. From C-Zone P32, we had those 2 fleet carriers. They will move down to C-Zone P41. Joining that task force in C-Zone P41, 1 destroyer from New Britain will pick up the Marine and then move over to C-Zone P41. 1, 2, 3, join the 2 carriers, but drop off the Marine in Kwangtung. From C-Zone P50, the seaplane will come off map and land in Formosa. From Calcutta, that medium bomber lands in British Malaya. From C-Zone P43, these 2 torpedo boat destroyers will move up 1, 2 to P16 and go import in Tokyo. Wait, is that what I wanted to do? Go import in Tokyo. Yep, they're in port in Tokyo. And from C-Zone P50, this light carrier will move up to C-Zone P16 and go import in Tokyo. So 1 to P32, 2 to P15, 3 to P16, go import here with the other 2 light carriers. So I got 5 units in port there in Tokyo. From C-Zone P50, 1 of these naval transports is going to do a strategic naval move. It'll move up to P32 off the coast of Nanking, so that's 2 spaces. Then it'll pick up 2 infantry from Nanking, move a 3rd space to P15, 4th space to P16. It'll drop off those 2 infantry in Tokyo and then go in port in Tokyo. So there'll be 6 ships in port in Tokyo and 6 infantry in Tokyo. I think that's this guy right here. Alrighty. Then we've got from P50, there's one more naval transport that hasn't done anything. It will pick up 1 infantry from Singapore, or from British Malaya, and move 1-2 over to P60, and then drop off 1 infantry in Lesser Sunda Islands. From P51, this destroyer will pick up the Marine from Maluku Islands and move over 1-2 to P59 and drop that Marine off in Java. From Sea Zone P52, this naval transport will move 2 spaces over to P50 and then go and port in Luzon and the Visayas. Okay, I think... Now I've got this light carrier here in P43. The light carrier and light cruiser that are there in P43 will move over to P41 and join that other task force. So the other task force will have a fleet carrier, a light cruiser, and a destroyer in P41. Now, I think that's my naval movements. I've got a few land movements from Hunan. Well, let's start with Nanking. From Nanking, 2 infantry will move down to Hunan, and then from Hunan, 2 infantry will move into Kwangtung. So the net effect will be 2 more infantry move into Kwangtung. Okay, so, and then do I want to do any other moves? I think that's everything. Let me just double check. Yep, okay. So now we've got some placement of units. Up in Manchuria, I'm going to put down a couple militia. 1 militia will go in northern Manchuria. Another militia will go in western Manchuria. In Rihe, I will put down an infantry. In Tokyo, I will put down a 7th Infantry. That leaves me an infantry and a militia. The militia will go in Siam, in case Possum Bruce wants to bomb me there again. And the infantry will go in British Malaya. Oops, I didn't have that on camera, British Malaya. I think that's then I put down, I advance 6 battleships to stage 2, and I place 1 battleship at stage 3. Yeah. All right. Now we've got the Lend-Lease fighter. So I'll build that guy in Kyushu, and he'll embark there, and then he'll go 1 to P15, 2 to P32, 3 to P41, 4 to P50, 4 to P50 refresh in British Malaya. 1 to P52 to I-12, 3 to I-7, 4 to I-4, 5 to I-5, refresh in Lower Egypt. 1 to I-5, 2 to M8, 3 to M7, 4 to M6, 5 to M3, debark in northern Italy, and then travel by rail, and we'll just end up in Berlin with that fighter. All right. Disposition of forces, or I guess collect income. I have 55 plus 6 for China, plus 8 for British Malaya, Borneo, Java, Luzon, and Visayas. So that's 14. So I have 69 for next turn. Interestingly, I think that's what Germany has right now. All right, disposition of forces. We can start, let's start here. Lower Egypt has a militia. Southern Iran has a militia. I have a submarine in I-4. Coastal subs are 1 each in I-7 and I-12. In P-59, a destroyer. In Java, a marine. In P-60, a submarine and a naval transport. In Lesser Sunda Islands, an infantry. In Dutch New Guinea, a fighter. In New Guinea, an infantry, a marine, and artillery. Caroline Islands, a militia. Palau, a militia. Luzon and the Visayas in port, a naval transport. Formosa, a militia and a seaplane. Okinawa, a militia. Volcano Islands, a militia. Bonin, a militia. Marshall Islands, a militia. South Sakhalin Islands, a militia. You know, this sub in P9 is not really doing anything for me. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to move it down 1, 2, 3 to P32. We'll move it to P32.